What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, and New York Giants Nation? This is the NFC East family reunion. This is the home stretch. We are now either 5 or 6 weeks left in this season, and there's so much to talk about. This episode is going to piss me off tremendously because I have returned to earth from my high horse of sitting at first place for most of the season. That life is now over for me, and Chip's Philadelphia Eagles are sitting very alone at the top of the division and look like a Super Bowl favorite out of the conference. What's going on, Chip?
Hey, friends. Welcome to, what is this, the mid-cap? This is the mid-cap, not the three quarters, right?
It's something, man. We're here right now, man.
Not only are we at the top of the division, but we are just one game out of first place in the conference.
Wow.
That's got to be said.
It does have to be said.
I'll say it humbly.
You humble? Never.
Don't say it humble.
I'm going to humble gloat a little bit tonight.
Okay. I mean, it's very necessary, and talk your shit. Obviously, y'all know what it is. I'm hosting the channel. My team has been humbled tremendously over these last 3 weeks. Yesterday, we were humbled by our arch nemesis. DMV ain't never suited up like this when we do a pod. He got a jersey on. He got his Howard beanie to match. What up, DMV?
Hey, bro. Listen, I was in a place of peace yesterday. You know, like if y'all whooped us, I was okay. But the fact that we were able to win that game and just shut everybody up here, like, bro, my phone has been quiet today. I mean, I've been getting tagged every week. Not even by Eagles fans, by Commanders fans. Everybody just knew that ass whooping was coming yesterday. Yeah. And hey, it is what it is, my guy.
It is what it
is. Showed up, baby.
And rounding out the NFC East, representing the cellar dweller New York Giants, who just finally put a cease to the Daniel Jones experiment. Y'all love her. The one and only, I call her the Jersey Shore Barbie doll, Miss Nikki Giss. How are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. Just sitting here in the basement like I have been all season.
She sounds so defeated.
Like Brian Dable in his press conferences, just so defeated.
Can I just?
But Chip can't even hold it in. We can't even get to the intros, and everybody is ready to just pounce on each other.
Hey, what you got to say, Chip? Go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
Go ahead.
Do you remember when your owner said if Saquon Barkley was going to be a Philadelphia Eagle, he was going to be ill, and y'all decided to
sleep, and he was going to lose sleep?
Yeah. And he decided his team decided to double down with $40 million a year Daniel Jones or $20 million a year Daniel Jones.
I remember it well. Yes, thank you.
And we were like, hey, we don't think he's worth $20 million. You're like, that's the market. We were like, all right, well, fine, that's the market. Y'all had Tommy Cutlett starting a game for you yesterday. You still got slapped silly, so much so that now your first round pick, Malik Neighbors, already wants out. Daniel Jones has the choosing of whatever team he wants to go for.
Go the Cowboys. How funny would it be if they sign him? The Giants sign him again.
Yeah, and Saquon Barkley had more yards yesterday than your entire offense. Thoughts on your current GM?
Oh, they can all go. It's the burn it to the ground. They can all get the fuck out. It's a dumpster fire. You know,
how have they not fired Dable yet?
Because I think we play on Thanksgiving. I honestly think that's it because there's 4 days in between.
So you think it's going to be an in-season firing?
I do, and the Giants never do that. They never do that. But he has lost the locker room. And I'm all for, like, I love Malik Neighbors. I love me a diva wide receiver. To me, if you're not a diva, the best wide receivers are divas, right?
I agree.
And I think like him coming out saying, it's not the quarterback. What I got the ball when it was 30-0. What do you want me to do? Like, go ahead, put him on blast. Like, say it. I don't care. But what this fan base is doing is making him out to be OBJ 2.0, and they ran him out of town. And like, look, I said it. Like, I think when we started the year was like, I didn't want his talent to go to waste. But do you know how fucking infuriating it is to watch Saquon just live his best life in Philly? Like, I was writing my Villanova article last night.
You seen him dancing? I know you seen him dancing.
Yeah, I'm like, this is just so horrible. Did you guys see MetLife? I mean, at halftime, everyone just left. I don't blame them. Like,
and the thing about like last night for me was it was 2 70-yard touchdown runs. It was and then and I love the comment. I said I already lost it. Oh no, Rod, the next comment. Yeah, not even starting Drew Lock. So with 7 games left in the season, y'all are saying we literally do not care about the outcome of this season at all. So I do see them firing Dable. When we get to McCarthy-related things, I can see McCarthy getting the blame for Jerry's choices in the next 2 or 3 weeks. The fact that they won yesterday saved McCarthy's job for another 2 weeks.
Yep, Nikki. So we might as well. Chip already opened the floodgates. Let's start with the New York Giants. Y'all made a decision to bench Daniel Jones. A couple days later, you made the decision to put him as the 4th string quarterback, and you had him running scout team safety. I've seen that done before here with RG3. When it was time to finally end the RG3 saga, we had him running strong safety at practice with a penny on, like he's at PE and shit. And then y'all decide boldly to come out of nowhere and release him. Y'all decided to say, fuck it, eat the money. He's gone. Give me your full, like, how would you define the Daniel Jones era? And did you feel like that was the right move, letting him go mid-season?
Yeah, listen, it was just a failed experiment. And I think I've been very vocal about, like, he just doesn't work here. And I bet you, in true Giants fashion, look at Xavier McKinney, look at Saquon. Like, every ex-Giant goes somewhere and lights it up. So if he goes to
They're
Dallas,
talented, though. They are talented, my dear.
Yes, but they are talented. But it's something about the Giants and that organization where the talent just can't thrive. And that's been an issue for years. I don't blame Daniel Jones for – I thought it was a little weird he went to John Mara to ask for the release and not Joe Shane.
Well, because what I found most interesting about the whole thing is while Dable was on the podium saying, hey, we're benching him and we're doing all this – there were dudes throwing hissy fits. Saquon literally is saying Daniel Jones is the dude. Malik Neighbors is saying he's the dude. So it's not an issue with Daniel Jones, the human. He's not a good NFL quarterback. He was drafted entirely too high, even back when he was doubled down and said he's going to be the guy. But for them to put the blame of the season on him was the most asinine thing I have ever seen. And now Malik Neighbors, the future of their team, is literally saying, nope, it's not him. I don't know what we're doing anymore. You're going to have to talk to Brian Dable about that. So he's going to be the next fall guy. The Giants organization is in complete and utter shambles and has been for a while. I don't know what's worse, your organization or the MetLife field.
Well, the field is new this season. Okay. So
a lot less torn ACLs. You're right.
Yes. So maybe the field is a little bit better. Listen, they're a dumpster fire and there's a lot that goes on internally. I ranted days ago about the whole PR and social media and communication mess. It has been a mess since they fumbled the first Saquon contract negotiations, and then it just got worse from there, right? And so you decide to pay Daniel Jones, and then Saquon feels some type of way, and he wants to test the market. And we all saw this happen on Hard Knocks, and then they proceed to just talk out of both sides of their mouth. Oh, we had a great practice. Did you? Doesn't fucking look like you've ever played football a day in your life. You know, it just, I understand coach speak, but at the same time, you're like, I'm putting the quarterback out there that gives us the best chance to win. I got news for you. It ain't Tommy DeVito, okay? Why isn't Drew Lock out there then? I guarantee you Drew Lock is better than Tommy DeVito, but they don't want to win games. Obviously, the tank is on. So you stand up there and you say, oh, no, we want to win games. Well, no, you don't. And obviously you can't say that, but they are a mess. And I think the only constant, this is the 3rd or 4th regime since Tom Coughlin has left, the only constant is John Mara and his bullshit. Like,
I think it's interesting that you mentioned it's a dumpster fire, since We know Tommy DeVito is loosely connected to the mob, and we know that they like to have dumpster rental companies. So I could see where that would work. That's a good point.
Hey, how did you like Baker Mayfield's celebration? That shit was a little aggressive, right? He was throwing that shit up like
I don't blame him. I don't blame him, honestly.
that
Like,
shit was flagrant.
I thought it was funny. He said he paid a tribute to him, right? Like, I thought it was hysterical. But Dable's lost the locker room. You know, the fact that, and I think Neighbors, like, is an outspoken guy anyway, but he reminds me of myself a little bit. Like, you can't hide your frustration. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. There's no PR training. They've given him media training a million times, and then he still says what he wants to say.
He's not going to have. There are certain people that are never going to be media trained. Malik Neighbors is definitely one of those. But just to continue, like, to get everybody's feel on the New York Giants before we move on to the next team. DMV, talk about the Daniel Jones era of the New York Giants.
It's pronounced error. Daniel Jones error.
Oh my God. Listen, we knew they were making the wrong decision, letting Saquon, the whole extension of Daniel Jones was really just the start of the end. Really. We all knew that, but it's really hard to talk about the Giants right now without talking about how good Saquon looks right now. I mean, I've never even seen him look as good as he looks right now. So it might even just be that he's just completely happy. You know,
he is. He is.
He found his joy again.
Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like when he was in New York, it was like Space Jam. They took his talent, or they took a little bit of his talent, I guess the last year or whatnot. But right now, man, look, I've never seen a player look happier. Maybe Derrick Henry at the beginning of this year, but the Giants, man, I don't enjoy really kicking people while they're down. The Giants have been down for quite some time.
12 years.
I don't even. I think
you can't kick them too hard, DMV, because they might sign you to be their kicker.
In that windy ass stadium.
I don't even want to talk about kickers today, man. I don't even.
Oh, we're going to. We're talking about kickers.
We're talking about kickers.
We're having problems with kickers too. But y'all,
I feel like the whole league, by the way, just as a whole, I know it's the NFC East Friendsgiving, but as a whole, it's been a really weird season.
Yeah, it has been a very weird season. And my unpopular opinion is the kicker position needs to be abolished from the sport. But we're not there right now. We're talking about the New York Giants. Appreciate you, Scotty, for the $5 donation. Neighbors, come play with your boy Jaden. We can talk about that in a couple of years when it's time for him to get out of. When it's time for him to get out of that rookie contract, we can have that conversation. I'd love to see it. But I feel like the Daniel Jones conversation, I'm very close to it because my team is almost solely responsible as to why he was paid $160 million over 4 years. Because 94% of his actual production in the NFL was against my three names, the Redskins, football teams, and Commanders. So you could say he cooked three different teams, but for so long it was a 5-1-1 record. He threw for 300 a couple times, had a 4-touchdown game. Almost his entire resume in this league came against my football team. It was us and the Vikings in a playoff game and everything he did in his rookie year. I'm talking about a guy who hasn't thrown for 20 touchdowns in the season since before COVID hit Earth. We're talking about a guy who hasn't had like a string of good games in years. And in his best season, when y'all won a playoff game with him, a guy who threw for less than a touchdown per game. And we weren't talking about a rookie. We're talking about that. And he got a longer leash than you typically see anybody in the league.
And an extension.
And an extension.
Yes,
It's just
an extended leash. Yes.
Some people
got
say
an extendable leash, yeah.
Yeah. Like you see those kids, people walk their kids with that fucking leash. It's wild.
Oh, I've definitely
he's got the little zip button on the doggy leash where he's like, look, come on back.
I had a family member try to put me on a leash in a mall when I was younger. I was so offended by that shit. I made sure I was on my worst behavior that day. But anyway,
I think the thing that Philly D's over here. No, I'm sorry. Wait, where'd it go? The thing that I think the Giants need. Look, they're tanking right now, which is one thing. For what though? Are they going to go out and get Shadur Sanders? I mean, he's not fixing this team.
I don't think Deion's letting them go there.
No, 100% not.
Hmm.
100% not. I think that the Giants' issues are so much right now that they need to have, number one, a perfect 2 or 3 drafts coming up. Like, it's going to be ugly for a while because
they're
they are
not just a quarterback away. A quarterback
No.
is not solving these
They
problems.
Y'all
probably
at
need to
least
trade
have
out.
a
They
really
probably
good
need to trade
defense.
back a little bit. They probably need to trade back
You have
a
a
little bit.
great defensive lineman.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many problems on this team. And, the thing is, do you let Joe Shane, Brian Dable, quote unquote, get their guy? Or do you just, clean house and let a new regime come in and try to get their guy? But I just maintain that, like, a quarterback's not going to fix this. They are not a quarterback away. Like, I mean, the offensive line still can't get right. And it's crazy because this is actually the season we've actually had the most veterans on the offensive line. And Tommy DeVito, like, barely was alive yesterday. I mean, it's just, they are not a quarterback away. So everybody who's screaming like, oh my God, if we beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, we're going to lose a draft spot. It doesn't matter who you go get in April at a quarterback position. They're not saving this team. The problems run so much deeper than a quarterback.
It's the entire culture.
The whole culture. It's a losing culture. They're losers and it's bum behavior. And honestly, like, I feel bad for season ticket holders. Like, I was at a basketball game yesterday. I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to waste my time with this. Like, I'd rather go watch college basketball. And you know what? That stadium emptied out by halftime, and I don't blame them. Like, who wants to watch this team? And you know what? They want to come at me for saying I have a negative narrative. Put a better product on the field. Don't tell me how to report and how I'm going to do my content. I don't give a fuck who you are. And I told them
who said that?
The Giants.
The Giants organization, they want her to put a positive spin on things, They want her to water down and don't be so hard and aggressive towards the team.
To be like Taylor Mathis.
Oh my God, walking bets and all that bullshit.
Walking bets. I just do my bets in the car.
Positive.
So, last thing, and we can be done with talking about the Giants for this entire show. What do you feel like the Giants need in their next coach? A leader of men or an offensive or defensive guru?
Oh my God. I don't know. Is all the above. Here's who I don't want. I don't want Bill Belichick. Shut the fuck up about the Bill Belichick. I don't want anybody from the Bill Belichick tree. I don't want it. Okay. He is not the savior. That's the problem, Rio. There's so many things that have to fall in place. It's like, yes, you need that leader of men. Yes, you need that quarterback. Yes, you need here. The issue is that the Giants just cannot seem to develop talent, and these guys do not play to their fullest potential. It is a coaching issue. It has been a coaching issue for a really long time. And Joe Shane, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. You whiffing on all of these draft picks. I mean, Malik Neighbors is great, but his talent's wasted in the swamps of New Jersey here. So it's just like, it's another shitty season and the fans are in like complete disarray. I mean, I'm just like getting the brunt of it, but whatever. And they're just, I don't know. They want the craziest stuff. They think Bill Belichick is the savior and he's not. Like,
well, I got somebody from his tree that I think could be good for you guys.
Who?
I mean, he's doing a hell of a job in Minnesota right now as a defensive coordinator.
Oh,
Brian Flores?
Yeah.
Is the NFL going to allow that with his pending lawsuit against the league, though?
I think like a lot of the time, like with the
league
Eagles,
lets anything happen. The rules are different for anything. It depends
when the Eagles got rid of Doug Peterson, because again, you want to talk about a guy who could not develop talent. We won a Super Bowl in spite of Doug Peterson. I've said that now for a couple of years.
That must be fucking nice.
It's weird. It's weird. We did not win because of him. We won in spite of him. So we got rid of Doug Peterson. What the Giants need is a straight up triage surgeon. They need somebody that can just straight up put out fires every which way. You need somebody. I'm thinking basketball now. You need like a Brett Brown, somebody who could manage the process for a couple of years before they turn it over to a real coach who's got some accolades a la Doc Rivers, and then fire his ass for a better coach.
They've been trying to do that though. That's been what they've been doing. That's why they have so many regimes.
Yeah.
Yep. And sorry, I've been there, Nikki. I've been there a lot of times, so I can relate to what you're going through. So we're gonna jump from last place to first place in the division. Chip is back in the top left square. He is feeling himself. His team is 9-2. They came out their bye week fucking smoking. What is it? 7 wins in a row or some
Seven
shit
straight. Seven straight.
7 wins in a row.
Looking, bro.
Sirianni has went from about to fight fans, his own team's fans, to
Yeah.
now they're back in the Super Bowl conversation. Chip, you gotta talk your shit, man.
So when we were at the quarter point, if you remember, I said I did not want to fire Sirianni, but something had to change, right? I did not say I'm not one of those fans like, oh, fire everybody, bench. That was not me. I was realistic. I said this team is not good right now. We still have all the pieces, but we're not doing what is our strength. Some of our offensive linemen went and said, Nick, run the damn ball. Because we have Saquon Barkley, and we have arguably the best offensive line in football. Sure enough, we have done offensive things over the last 7 weeks that took us to a Super Bowl a couple years ago. When we were focused on running the football and a run-first team, it was night and day. The fact that Devontae Smith has 1 or no catches in multiple of those wins is insanity, right? The fact that we won games without Dallas Goedert is insanity. This team offensively is good, but what a lot of people are now starting to talk about is this defense is arguably one of the best defenses in Philadelphia Eagle history now. And when we sat here at the preseason show, y'all told me that Vic Fangio was a bum and Kellen Moore was a bum. And here we sit at 9-2 with a potential MVP candidate if it doesn't go to a quarterback like it always does. And 1 win out from being the top seed in the East. There's still, or in the NFC. There's a lot of football left. Entire league. There's a lot of football left. I'm not saying that we are definitely going to the Super Bowl, but this is starting to feel like we just lost Brandon Graham for the season last night. That's a big loss. How this team responds will tell me everything that I need to know, because the year that we won the Super Bowl, it was the next man up mentality. So if you're telling me that Jalix Hunt is going to get good snaps, if you're going to tell me that when Bryce Huff eventually gets back, he's going to have to take snaps away from Jalix Hunt because Josh Sweat and Jalix Hunt have held down the fort, it's a repeat of the year that it has a lot of parallels of the year we went to the Super Bowl. And the Saquon Barkley thing, DMV, I remember you telling me that Kellen Moore was going to ruin that man.
I sure as hell did.
Yep.
You sure did. That Kellen Moore was going to ruin that man. And he is on pace to shatter Adrian Peterson's single season rushing record.
Here's the crazy thing. It's not that Kellen is running him a lot. He's just breaking long ass runs.
Yes.
It's our defensive line. Our defensive line is insane.
That's what he does. It's always weird to me because, go back, like I'm talking 10 plus years, right? You just know the Eagles as like that run first team. And so when they moved away from it for years, you're just kind of like, why are they not running the ball? Like not that I want the Eagles to be successful, but just as a fan of the sport, like it was very strange to see them just completely move away from it. And it was like, you've got Saquon Barkley, and then all of a sudden it's like, when are you going to use him? And then everything clicked. Like it took a minute to get him like in his groove, I guess. When
they made the switch from Peterson to Sirianni, Jeffrey Lurie had an opportunity to speak. Howie Roseman had an opportunity to speak. And they basically said that, we enjoy passing the ball because it's quite honestly, it's more enjoyable to watch. And I think when Sirianni came in, we snuck into the playoffs each of the years, and that's fine. But he wasn't being as staunch of a advocate for what his team needs. He is a player's first coach, which is great. But now the difference between last year and this year is last year, because we were so late into the season, we had to bring in guys who weren't really good coordinators. We hired up Brian Johnson. We hired up this guy, and they were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. We have actual offensive and defensive coordinators who are calling the plays, who are doing the things that he needs to do. And I see in the chat, they're saying, the Ravens and Derrick Henry, and he should be the MVP. And I at the beginning of the season, I agreed with you, but he has been stopped the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Saquon's going crazy.
And we know that the NFL is streaky and things like that. So it's very possible that Josh Allen will go on a streak over the next couple of weeks and secure the first round bye for the Bills, and that could probably get him the MVP, or Lamar Jackson will not have his December woes that he normally does. It's very possible. But right now, at this point, Saquon is the best player in the National Football League. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And I'm not going to dispute that, to be perfectly honest, because I've seen it up close and personal. It's not just that he's just breaking off runs. It's the timing. He's y'all's closer. You expect a quarterback to go out and close the game. He's fucking putting these games on ice for y'all. Like,
do you look at the difference between his first half yards per carry and his second half yards per carry? He's just getting stronger. I think it's like 2 point something in the first half and like 7 point something in the second half. It is absurd. He is wearing teams down single-handedly and abusing them.
Yeah, man. They even added that stupid.
It must be nice, bro. Like, I get happy for a 6-yard carry. And I watched that, and for the 6 yards, I'm like, man,
money on running backs. Y'all spent no money on running backs. You went back to the
all. They spent no money
back to the thrift shop and
y'all all in.
I can't say Sears version of Ezekiel Elliott.
I can't even in on this right now.
What are you guys? I mean, we said this at the Ezekiel Elliott, and he's not even your feature back.
Yeah,
he's like I don't know what they were doing. And before Dak got hurt, which, by the way, he wasn't playing that great, which is the big concern. It's because he had no running game.
We didn't have no receivers either. We had one.
No, Dak's entire game is between play action passes and then hitting the open receiver. If you don't have a legitimate running threat, then the play action pass is no threat. So now Cooper rushes in there. People are going to complain that Trey Lance isn't getting things. And at some point in the next 2-3 weeks, Mike McCarthy is going to get fired because Jerry Jones won't take the blame. Jerry Jones is my favorite Philadelphia Eagle. I got to tell you.
I hate to say it, Chip, but when we talk about the Cowboys, I'll explain why Mike's not going to get fired. And I hate it, bro. I hate it.
Oh, God.
I wanted him fired weeks ago.
I know you did.
Oh, man. But me and Chip, we haven't really talked on air since the Philly-Washington game. And that was a hell of a Thursday night game.
Yes, it was.
It was very. It wasn't. I wasn't gonna say it's similar to the game we played with the Cowboys score-wise going into the fourth. It was, but that was just a good ball game. And then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose in the fourth quarter of that game. And I found out just how good the Philadelphia defense is. They had Jaden in real time doing arithmetic on national television. They were beating us on the inside. They were beating us on the outside. They made me realize that our offensive line is not good. It was being masked by Jaden hooping earlier in the season. And great quarterback play, it masked holes and deficiencies on a roster. I learned about Guantanamo Island. I learned about Quinyon Mitchell and
leader for defensive rookie of the year. If he had even 1 or 2 interceptions, if he doesn't drop them, he is running away with it.
Yeah, that defense.
How the hell did the league let you get Quinyon and Cooper?
How does any of this ever happen?
We allowed the Cooper part.
They always have like the most talent. It's so crazy.
We facilitated the Cooper DeJean part because we traded back and let them have our draft spot.
So what I was going to tell you is, unlike when you are a fan of the Giants, our GM actually looks at the players he's going to draft, and he does like a whole draft board, and he goes out and he gets the players that fit the system best. And it's kind of cool actually. We used to rag on Howie Roseman to the point of when they were getting rid of Doug Peterson, we actually, as a fan base, wanted Howie Roseman fired. Turns out he wasn't the problem. Howie Roseman is brilliant. We sat in the preseason show and we talked about how Jahan Dotson was going to be an interesting move. Jahan Dotson hasn't done that much, but the fact that he went out and got him for straight up peanuts in a game where you don't have Devontae Smith, that is a legitimate threat on the outside, which just means you got to cover a legitimate threat. Now, he hasn't done anything yet.
And when you say peanuts, a 3rd round pick?
We don't, because here's the thing. You look at our roster, a 3rd round pick helps.
True. Y'all are in Super Bowl to bust mode. So,
but right now we have a Super Bowl roster, and I've been trying to say that, and it's just nice that the pieces are starting to click a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to click, and y'all look like one of the top 3 teams in the league right now. It's y'all, the Lions, and the Chiefs, and y'all are rounding out.
Chiefs don't even look that good.
They don't.
Chiefs almost lost to Carolina. Chiefs almost lost to Carolina.
But we know who they are when the playoffs start. Like,
absolutely,
they're at
until somebody beats them in the playoffs.
They're bored right now. They're bored. And
they don't give a shit about football until like mid-January, because when that starts, teams still got to come up to Arrowhead. Like, somebody has to try to take the 1 seed from them to be an actual threat when it comes to playoff time, because Burrow's really the only person that can go up to Arrowhead in the playoffs and beat them there. And now we move to number 3 in the division, the Dallas Cowboys, who beat my fucking football team yesterday. They came down to Northwest Stadium in one of the most random on acid ass football game you ever seen. We're talking about a game
just the fourth quarter, man. Damn.
That entered the fourth
last
quarter.
5 minutes. It was 10-9.
The last 6 minutes were insane.
10-9 with 6 minutes left in the game, and the final score was 34-26. We just lost our 3rd game in a row to Dallas. Cooper Rush was hooping. Micah Parsons was with a remind everybody what I do. Don't get it twisted, because I'm a podcaster type vintage performance. And y'all had Terry, y'all had Jaden, and y'all had our offense stymied for the 3rd week in a row. DMV, talk to me about your Dallas Cowboys, man, with your 4th win of the season.
Dog, this team is so frustrating, bro. Like, all we had to do was, all right, so first and foremost, I'm happy we won because it was kind of funny. But in hindsight, I'm like looking at the schedule and how it's lining up. And we just beat y'all. We about to get the Giants on Thanksgiving.
Y'all about to catch
us in a game that nobody wants to watch.
And then Carolina. And so you win 2 of these games, then all of a sudden you're trying to wonder if you're trying to push for the 7th seed. I don't want that. I don't want that, because I don't want another 1st-round lineman. I don't want that. So I need Tommy DeVito to have the game of his life on Thanksgiving.
I don't think that's going to happen. I'm so sorry.
God.
I'm so sorry. I don't think that's happening.
Oh, my God.
Did you see yesterday? It's not happening.
But that was against a team, and we struggled against the Bucs too, because Todd Bowles is a good football coach, and his defense is always on point.
It just so happens going to look like Tom fucking Brady on Thursday. Okay, Dallas is going to light it up. In fact, everybody in fantasy, if there's any Dallas Cowboys hanging out there, go get them now. They're going to have a career day. I already know how it's going to go. So sorry, DMV. We're preserving that draft spot.
I so very much hope that we just throw the ball 50 times on Thanksgiving. Like,
you will. Who's going to run the ball?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Rico been kind of cooking the last couple weeks. We stopped running the ball. That's the issue. It's not that we can't run the ball. It's that Mike McCarthy wants to throw the ball. That's the issue.
Yep. Is that why you wanted him fired a couple weeks ago?
I mean, against y'all, Rico had 5 a carry. Against Atlanta, he had 6 a carry, and he only got to 12 carries and 15 carries. And it wasn't always a blowout in the Philly game until we started throwing the damn ball with Cooper Rush. Against Houston, I think he was getting about 5 a clip, throwing the ball.
And I'll tell you, when we played the Cowboys with Cooper Rush, look, his only losses before were against the Eagles. Like, he looked like Tom Brady against all these other teams. So I knew that Cooper Rush was going to get the ball out fast. That's the only place that I worry about my defense, is when we're playing 15 yards off the ball. We're not good on that soft coverage crap, but we did it against Cooper Rush. We did it against Jaden Daniels. Terry McLaurin did not have a target when we played against the Commanders. Not even a look over here. That's how much he was on lockdown.
He was catch for 10 yards.
No,
he was getting
didn't. Terry
McLaurin
had no targets when Quinyon Mitchell was on him.
Oh, yeah, when Quinyon was on him, he had nothing. Yep, he had nothing.
He was actually literally forgotten about. They needed to send out a SEAL search and rescue team for him. That's how tight Guantanamo Bay is.
Oh man!
Hey, bro, we hey, listen, I'm happy for you, Chip. I really am, dog. I really am. Somebody got to know what it's like to win. Somebody.
And listen, we always joke around, like, and I come on and I say, on paper, and I gloat. Look, I understand. I understand my role in this panel. It's to be the Philadelphia hothead. I went into the game last night and honestly thought with Cooper Rush, with Puka
You've been
Nacua, with
very
all those,
level-headed in the chat.
Yeah.
I was like, listen to me. I was legitimately worried when we played the Bengals and it was Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I was worried. Then T. Higgins doesn't play. So it was impressive to me. Like the defense impressed me last night. The fact that they were able to straight up just beat down on Matt Stafford. It's because defense wins championships. That's what it comes down to. So the fact that our defense looks as cohesive as it does, it's a very enjoyable time to be an Eagles fan.
Damn,
Great
bro.
for you. Yeah, great.
That's great. That's how you know it must be a good time for him because we're on the Cowboys and it went back to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I know.
That's how you.
That was on DMV. Though. That wasn't on me.
DMV just threw the
There you
just
go.
That was DMV. That wasn't me. I wasn't trying to bring it back to me.
Don't fucking make me talk about this dumbass. They don't care if we won yesterday.
Yeah, bro. I do not want to talk about my team because I want us to lose the rest of our games, bro. I want
you
a
didn't tell us
weapon.
why you
I
want
want a weapon.
why Mike McCarthy won't get fired.
I was going to say, yeah.
Please enlighten us.
You teased
Because
us.
of how the schedule's about to fall out. They're about to win games like some dummies. And then they're going to try and sell you on the fact that they could get the 7th seed. They're going to, I'm telling you, I know this stupid ass franchise.
They're going to rally for their coach. They rallied for Cooper Rush. They rallied for Mike McCarthy.
We about to win 3 more games.
If you guys win on Thanksgiving, are you going to be mad if you beat the Giants on Thanksgiving? Are you going to be mad?
Hell yeah. I mean,
I'm going to be mad
thankful.
if we win.
I got the win that I wanted. I got the win. It happened yesterday. I don't want any more wins the rest of the year. No more. Because, see, look, with Philly fans, I don't have to deal with them like that. Like Washington fans, I walk in and I see them all the time. And you would just see all these Commander flags and jerseys. And from people that I know never had no Commander shit ever.
Fake ass casual fair weather fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
They're coming out of the woodwork.
Like I coach high school
Eagles
football.
fans
And one of the coaches had this nice ass polo. I'm like, where you get that from? I didn't know you was a Commanders fan. Nope. So I got the one that I wanted. I don't want no more. I want one of these weapons out here because we damn sure ain't gonna spend no money for one. Nope. So our best chance is for us to draft one. And the further we go down the list by winning games, we're not gonna get one.
But DMV, that's how fucked up our franchises both are. Like you've put fans in the position of like, shit, I don't know if I want to win this game. Like, I can't remember a time where I was like, didn't want to beat the Cowboys. And now it's like, hold on, wait a minute. I don't know if how do you root for this team to win when we need so many pieces in place and a quarterback is one of them? Like, it's just like, this is what ownership and our franchises have done to us. And I'm sure your fan base is in a shambles too and like ripping each other apart. So it just sucks. Like, I've never like wanted to, I'm not like a full on tank crew person, but like also, kind of preserve the draft pick.
That shit be necessary sometimes.
Listen,
sometimes you gotta let that the bottom fall out.
Yeah, they gotta hit rock bottom. They just have
his
to.
fan base is fine. His fan base is fine. The Dodgers won the World Series. He's all good. No, but the thing is, like,
I'm a Nats fan, by the way.
What's that?
I'm a Nats fan, by the way. The only thing that I like outside of the area is the Cowboys. I love everything else here, so I'm not one of those Laker, Dodger, Yankee, Cowboy fans.
And Duke, you got to throw Duke in there too.
Yeah, Duke is the one. Like, there's that starter pack meme, right? We got to make that like douchebag starter pack.
No, and I think the thing, like with DMV, like you mentioned, you guys have a much bigger issue of Jerry Jones is still making your next draft pick.
Yeah, like, he can't get out of his own way.
Jerry, if Johnny Manziel is available, he may still try to draft him again 10 years after the dude retired from football because he was ready to sell the farm.
He sure was. He sure as hell was, bro.
You know, and you guys have Trey Lance on layaway. Like, how much longer?
Trey Lance for nothing.
Are you less than peanuts? He can do that? Like,
less than peanuts. But he can't do anything.
But the problem is the draft that he gave away for would have been the running back of the future. That's the problem.
He's played.
And
like
you
2
ended up
games.
not re-signing Tony Pollard, who's having a nice little season over in Tennessee. Tony Pollard, who, when you guys had him and Ezekiel Elliott, no doubt in my mind, Tony Pollard was the better running back. You let Ezekiel Elliott walk, and then you went back to the Goodwill, found him in a bargain 2-for-1 basement, and signed him again this season.
Not the Goodwill.
For peanuts.
And
For peanuts.
You hear all of this we're saying about the Dallas Cowboys, and my team found a way to fucking lose to them yesterday. Oh, man, I'm going through it right now. I'm pretty miserable on this panel. I'm ready to start talking about Thanksgiving food and shit because we go out there and play like absolute dog water versus the Cowboys. We had a mini bye week after losing the Chips Philadelphia Eagles. We walk into this game coming off a mini bye week of sorts, 10 days to prepare for the 3-7 Cowboys as the biggest favorite of week 12. 10.5 points. We were 10.5 point favorites. And this is what my offense did through 55 minutes of football. Field goal, missed field goal, punt, interception, punt, touchdown. We're back right now. Punt, fumble. Well, that's what we did for 55
like the good old days for you.
Oh my God. I have not felt more like a Redskin fan than yesterday. That is the life that I've known. That is the team that I've known and loved. That 7-2
feels comfortable to you, right? That feels comfortable.
Did you miss Taylor Heineke yesterday?
I did not miss. I will never in my fucking life miss Taylor Heineke, but there's a lot of dummies in this fan base who are already missing guys like Taylor Heineke. I will never miss.
Who says that? Who said that?
No. There are people.
Taylor Heineke.
No. Yes, there are people that have DM'd me saying, should we be looking at quarterbacks next year? There are people telling me, fire Cliff Kingsbury. Like, guys.
Oh my God. Some fans just don't deserve social media.
We have a chance of still being the 7th seed and making the playoffs this year.
You have a chance of being even higher than the 7 seed.
Yeah, we do, because we just have to take care of business. And like, our offense is going through an identity crisis right now. We are going through it right now. Since the Steelers, Eagles, Cowboys, y'all have our offense spinning. We're going through the fucking matrix.
Eckler got.
I was going to say, how serious is he out for the season? He got concussed bad.
This is his second concussion of the season, and it looked scary as shit when it happened. Brian Robinson bangs up a lower extremity every week, so we're gonna have to elevate some guys from the practice squad.
Nichols is all right though, bro.
I know, but we always go away from him. He always is effective running the ball.
Y'all gave him the ball. It was 13 yards, and took him out.
Yeah, nice little run. I'll see you next week type shit. But that's what we do. That's what we do. And Jaden remembered that he has the God-given ability to extend plays and throw defenses off with his legs yesterday. I think yesterday was the first time he felt comfortable post-rib injury running the football 74 yards on the ground. Anytime we got the ball moving yesterday, it was because of Jaden's leg. But at the same time, Micah Parsons had him running for his fucking life the whole day because our interior of our O-line has quit playing football the last couple weeks. They moved Parsons inside, and it was just free lanes to the quarterback all day.
There was Biada's like the back of our hand, bro. So, I mean.
And he's hurting us because he's playing injured. He's not healthy, and he's playing through it, and he's getting his ass whooped every week. We had a possession. I know you remember this yesterday, DMV. We did the same shit 3 plays in a row. Jaden had to scramble out of bounds to the right side 3 plays, and it was 3.
It was all Micah chasing him.
Yes, Micah. Like, you would think that the game got put on pause and rewind because for 3 consecutive plays, Jaden took the shotgun snap. Parsons was on his ass, scrambled out of bounds. That shit happened 3 plays in a fucking row, man. Parsons had 2 sacks. It felt like he had 2 pressures yesterday. And another week where if Terry isn't involved, we have nothing. We're still relying on fucking Noah Brown to be our wide receiver too. And while he can catch a comeback route and the occasional diving pass in the clutch, that's not a wide receiver too. It's not.
He was our wide receiver too 1 year.
He was. Yep.
Yeah.
And then Dan Quinn said, you know what? Let me call Noah Brown. Now I know why he was the number 2 receiver.
Clutch for us, because if we didn't even have him, we would get nothing in the passing game. We would, because Cliff, they're starting to rear old tendencies back to Cliff, where he starts to fall off on the latter part of seasons, and they're making a big deal. Terry doesn't move. He stays on the left side. He's very static, and that's what Cliff does with his number 1 receiver. We're getting stuck. And I don't need to see Noah Brown get 10 targets in a game.
No, and I look at your team and so kind of what we were talking about with when we were trying to do the hiring process for the Giants and the Cowboys. You guys got a really good coach who has steadied the ship. And actually at the beginning of the season, he kind of pushed you guys. You guys were overshooting what people were expecting of you. Now it's on him to kind of right the ship. And he's got to go to Cliff Kingsbury and say, listen, you're doing things that are very repetitive, that are pattern-based. Everybody's figured it out, so switch it the hell up. I don't think in your situation that firing people is the answer. I think making adjustments. But, we mentioned the lines. You have seen over the last couple of weeks for all of these teams what happens when your offensive line is an absolute mess. Right now, Washington's offensive line is not doing what it needs to do. They're not really opening up holes, and he's reverting back to passing the ball as much as humanly possible, which is not what's going to benefit Jaden Daniels in the long run. It's going to get him killed. It's what got Dak Prescott killed. It's what got Daniel Jones cut. I mean, I don't understand why people aren't realizing that the Andy Reid way of doing things, building between the lines first, is the way to go. The man has how many Super Bowls in a row?
Well, wait. That's not why Dak got hurt. Dak got hurt because he hadn't ran all year. Then all of a sudden he threw the ball and his hamstring fell off.
It did. Speaking of hamstrings coming off the bone, I think we're a couple weeks away from finding out. We don't want to hear food takes from Nick. No, we're going to get to those a little bit later. Speaking of hamstrings falling off the bone, our prize trade deadline acquisition hasn't touched the field yet. We finally get our bye week coming up next week. If he's not back at New Orleans after our bye week, maybe his hamstring fell off the bone, because I was just told hamstring. I wasn't told any tear or anything of the sort. But Lattimore's now been here for the Steelers game, the Eagles game, the Cowboys game. He's probably not going to play versus the Titans. Next week would make it about 4 weeks. And when we go for the bye week and next week, it'll be 6 weeks when we get to the New Orleans game. If he's was already hurt and then misses 6 weeks once getting here, there was something that we were not told when we traded for said asset.
Did you guys did you a physical when he got there?
He passed the physical, but with soft tissue injuries,
he passed on taking it, or he passed it.
I think they took him to CVS and they just ran him through the line.
Ironically, he did get he got his flu shot and his COVID shot at the same time. It was great.
So what happened with Lattimore, I knew shit was going to be weird and we weren't going to see him, because when we played the Eagles that night, Albert Breer came out on Amazon Prime about an hour before the game, and he said Washington views Marshawn Lattimore as their number 1 acquisition of 2025. And I was like, whoa.
I heard that.
Whoa. When he said that, I texted my group chat oh, this motherfucker's not going to play anytime soon. Holy shit. Our number 1 acquisition for next year, because I know we got him under contract for pennies this year, not much in 25 and in 2026. So we have him through his age 30 season. But when Albert Breer said that, we don't leak things anymore. If something comes out, it came directly from somebody at the top. So they're telling people that this is our number 1 acquisition of next year. Is he gonna play football this year? I need to see him, because I'm tired of seeing Benjamin St. Juice get beat by nobody receiver. Who the fuck is Jalen Brooks?
He got torched by Jalen Brooks. Jalen Brooks ain't beat nobody all year.
He looked surprised to be getting targeted on that shit.
Hey, he about to be in the league for another year somewhere else because of St. Juice. Thank you.
Yeah, that was something. That was something. And you mentioned that you're going to have Marshawn Lattimore in his 30 year. We know what happens to corners when they start reaching 30. I mean, look at the Eagles. We now have Darius Slay not being able to finish games anymore because he's in those 30s. So y'all might have gotten fleeced. You didn't get him for much, but y'all still may have gotten fleeced.
We're going to see once it gets on the football field, because what we did at least learn over these past couple weeks in this last month, especially versus Chip and the Eagles, is our second rounder, Mikey Sanders still, who we drafted to be an inside corner, he is now an outside corner, and he ran the ones with A.J. Brown, and he played pretty well versus Dallas as well, but just a lot of freaky shit happened in that game yesterday. The last 5 minutes of that game, Dallas scores a touchdown. They score a field goal to go up 2 possessions. We get what looks like a garbage time touchdown. And then we somehow get the ball. Like the game was on crack. The Devontae Turpin drops a kick return, picks it up and scores it.
The onside kick touchdown return. Oh my God!
Oh,
and then everyone's going like, "Oh, he shouldn't have done that. He should have just taken a knee." No, dude had clean lines.
You don't ask somebody who is a defensive player, right? You ask them to just lay down. No, you scored a touchdown. I mean, at the end of the day, he's playing for somewhere else anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
more than
he's
likely
trying to get tape out there for himself.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then on that Devontae Turpin return, he had Jeremy Reeves like on a fucking surfboard with the slowest spin move in the history of spin.
Bro, he hit circle. He held it though. He held circle.
He did. And it looked like his system lagged a little bit because it took a little longer than usual. But what hurt me the most, just lose the fucking game. Don't play with my heartstring. This team always has to fucking put me underground. Just lose the game. We get the ball back down a touchdown with 21 seconds and no timeouts left. And they're in super prevent defense. I'm talking the safeties are 40 yards back. We find a soft spot in the prevent defense. Jaden hits Terry for what felt like the first time all day. He only had 4 catches for 18 yards before this. 86-yard touchdown. The first time in probably 4 years I watched Terry run past defender because he's been getting caught all year, and he runs past.
Because he ran past Donald's slow ass. Donovan Wilson is probably the worst safety in football.
It looks like even the call, Joe Davis on the call, lightning strikes twice in Washington because we've already seen the Hail Mary. We score a fucking touchdown, 86 yards up the field with 21 seconds to go, and out comes our dickhead kicker, Austin Cyber. Let me give you guys a little back.
I was so happy when y'all scored, bro. I was like, yes, thank you.
I don't like how quickly Dan Quinn was calling.
Of course not.
He starts calling immediately. 1-1-1. Let's go for the extra point. Now, mind you, we shouldn't even be in this position right now, but we didn't even consider going for 2. We already converted a 2 earlier in the game. Jaden walked one right in.
Me and my wife were watching the game because we're waiting endlessly for Sunday Night Football. And the whole thing happens. He scores, and my wife goes, "Wow, they just tied it up." And I went, "Well, he's still going to make the extra point." She goes, "Yeah, but that's automatic." And I went, "Yeah, you're right."
Man, he pulled the hell out of that.
Turns out it's not automatic.
Not automatic.
I hadn't quite processed the touchdown yet. I was still in shock sitting with my son watching the game, and my son, just like the Bears game, was hitting me with the, "Papa, I told you it's not over." And I was like, relax. We're still gonna
relax. It's over.
We're still gonna find a way to lose this game in overtime. That's what I said. We're gonna lose this game in overtime.
Y'all got to get to overtime.
Out comes Austin Seibert. So he rushed back from a hip injury. He missed the last 2 games. Zane Gonzalez was making kicks versus Philly. He was making kicks versus Pittsburgh. He looked good.
Why I ain't against them?
Austin Seibert was trying to avoid the unemployment line and decided he was going to play with a fucked up hip. And he comes out, misses 2 extra points. He missed one earlier in the game. He missed one to take the game to overtime. He kicked the kick that should have went out of bounds, but Turpin decided to return it earlier in the game. And the most Washington finish ever, scores the game-tying touchdown, misses the extra point. Fuck that game. Fuck our season right now. We're 7-5 after starting 7-2. I need to know that they're capable of winning again before I can even use the word playoff. The P word is like a slur to me right now. I don't want to use it, but let's close this show out. You've heard about all.
I mean, 7-5 is not that bad. Don't you think?
No, y'all are good.
Don't you think you're being a little dramatic?
No. I mean, I guess I'm being dramatic because when presented with new
how,
data,
when
you're presented with new data, you adjust your expectations. When you are predicted to win 6 or 7 games and you are 7-2 for the first time since I was 5 years old, you change it. We were driving to beat the Steelers down 1 to become 8-2 for the first time since before I was born. So do you understand the high horse I've been on all year?
Yes, we are well aware. I'm very much well aware of the high horse that you've been on, and now that you've fallen off a little bit, come back down to reality.
Yeah.
It's almost like when the Eagles
But I'm just saying, like 7-5 is not a big.
Oh, it's not the end of the world.
2-9. You are not 2-9. So
we'll
I think you're just being a little dramatic about it. You know,
but just like you, I'm dramatic. That's what I do, baby. I'm dramatic too.
You guys want to jump off a bridge. I'm looking at the comment. Like, come on, like, relax, everybody. You are not the Giants. When you think you're having a bad day or your team is bad, you could always be the New York Giants. That's all I'm going to say.
And I think that like again, we were here last year. Like the Eagles, you know, we were 10-0, 10-1, whatever it was, and then absolutely shit the bed on the back half. Yeah. So patterns develop, and that's what makes a good season a bad season. So I get where Rio is starting to feel frustrated by it. I like that you mentioned that Kevontae Turpin hit the circle, and in my mind, all I went was, you got to hit circle, triangle, and then reverse for the reverse leap that Saquon pulled out of his ass. That was fucking ridiculous.
They really added that shit to Madden. First of all, that's like the craziest.
They did.
Yes, they did.
I've ever seen in my life.
It was insane. It almost got him killed, but it was insane. Real quick, because I got two of you on here. Some news. Who can tell me a little bit about KJ Henry? Since he was on both y'all teams.
I can tell you about KJ Henry. We drafted him last year. We traded up for him in the 5th round. Ron Rivera. He doesn't have much bend or burst, but he plays hard. He plays to the whistle, and he does have the capability of getting to the quarterback. So as a rotational rusher, he will give you a little oomph, but it should tell you a lot that we cut him at 53 roster cut. He got signed to the Bengals practice squad. He hasn't seen much of the field this year.
He was let go by Dallas the other day, but he is now a Philadelphia Eagle.
So that's his 4th team in his 2nd season. So be with that.
But again, he's only there to replace Brandon Graham for a couple of snaps. So I don't hate the move. I want a little insider, information from him.
He has a little something to him, but don't get excited. There's no elite traits or anything like that, but you're a 5th round pick for a reason. But y'all have such a good thing going on defense that y'all might be able to make it work under Vic Fangio. But is there anything else anybody would like to say before we close it with Thanksgiving power ranking?
No, I just need this season to be over. I just need it to be done. I mean, it is just brutal.
You got a big game on Thanksgiving, boo.
Yeah. Well, I host Thanksgiving, which I know is funny for everyone to hear. But no, I really need the season to be over.
She hosts so she doesn't have to cook. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just painful. It's just a painful season. It's another season where we're going to have to go through another coaching regime because I just don't see how you keep Brian Dable and Joe Shane at this point and losing the locker room. And it's just painful. And I'll have you know, I have completely this season, I have stopped all of my guest spots on podcasts. This is the only panel I will do. This is the only show other than my own that I will come on, other than if DMV asked me. Chip never asked me, but whatever.
I don't control the guests on AAT Birds.
I love you too. I love you too, Nick. I love you.
But I'm just saying, everybody wants to have, the Giants person on their panel, and I just won't do it. I just can't talk about it. I mean, if you guys were, the Giants rep on a panel, I mean, how much can you really do it? This is enough. This is the only show I'll do. And somebody said to me, they were like, "How do I get you on my panel?" I was like, "You have to be Rio. Sorry."
There we go. That is love right there. And this is
special.
You already know, but okay, let's get to what everybody wants to talk about. We got Thanksgiving coming up in a few days, and nobody wants to talk about that stupid fucking game between the Cowboys and the Giants. So
I can hear my nap from here.
No bullshit. Sneaking in the 3rd plate, and the itis nap is coming right around that time, midday. We should be on about plate 3 before I hit the desserts one more time.
Mandalorian's funny.
Yes, Nikki. I want you to know that the pastime that is Thanksgiving, how regular American folks celebrate Thanksgiving, is you eat until you're about to puke. You eat, you eat, you eat. We're talking, it is the home
We're talking
version.
Ezekiel Elliott. We're talking
You
Ezekiel
said-
Elliott like
It
this.
is the home version of an all-you-can-eat buffet. People didn't slave over a kitchen to eat one time. I know you don't understand this because you eat like a
You
pet
said
hamster
3
slash
plates.
pilgrim,
You
so you wouldn't really understand how this works. But yes, 3 plates on Thanksgiving, absolutely. It's
Plus
a
And
dessert. Plus
and dessert.
yeah, hell yeah.
How many
Hell
dessert plates? do
And
you
and
have?
you've been picking appetizers before dinner was ready.
Absolutely. You're picking that shit all day. You're stopping in the kitchen just to see what it smells like. We're going to start with Nikki here. What are your top Thanksgiving sides and your what cannot be on your Thanksgiving dinner table? I know this is going to be highly controversial. Those who do not know Nikki, she has the worst food takes palate and food discourse that exists in this planet. She eats like a pet rabbit. It's crazy. Nikki, give me what's on your Thanksgiving table and what should not be on your Thanksgiving table.
So I host as a 10, like 9 or 10th year, I've hosted Thanksgiving. However, my sister really comes and like does it, right? Like she saves the
So you're the venue. You're the venue. You're the
I'm
venue.
the venue, basically.
She's the
I
venue,
do
but
a
it gets
very
catered.
nice
out to
appetizer
sis.
table.
Shout out
Yeah,
to what's sis's name?
What?
What's sis's name?
Rachel.
Shout out to Rachel.
Shout out to Rachel, baby.
She is a fantastic cook. So her and my mom like really help, but Rachel like comes in, she like gets everybody like I have to like take the biscuits out of the oven and I get yelled at for that because I don't do it right, So
No,
I
what?
do a nice appetizer table because
You do a nice appetizer table. What's an appetizer table for Thanksgiving, babe?
like you do like a cheese spread and like
Like
crackers.
like a charcuterie board?
Yeah. And then you do like a salad
Oh, how Caucasian of you.
and like shrimp cocktail.
Sounds about white. Sounds about white.
And then you have the dinner, and then so
Okay,
we
no
eat,
dinner.
like-
So what's dinner? Do you have anything to do with the menu on Thanksgiving, Nikki?
So like we make like the normal stuff. So I actually do, if it's done right, I do like the turkey, and it comes out great every single year. So I'll eat turkey, salad, like roasted Brussels sprouts.
Let's run that back real quick. Salad.
I do.
I've never seen a salad at Thanksgiving.
That's something
That's
hard.
bullshit.
room
You've
for
never
it.
done like a harvest salad? No, no. Yes, of course you have.
Thanksgiving and harvest salad.
Yeah, like a
The whole
fall
meal's a
salad.
harvest.
Man, the harvest is everything else around the table.
But that's like the appetizer. I make a great salad. And then like I like having little pieces of turkey, and I like my roasted vegetables.
Turkey with salad, bro.
Yeah. Like I don't like gravy. I don't like mashed potatoes. I don't like cranberry sauce. I don't like mac and cheese. Although we are having it, like we have mac and cheese coming, but I'm not going to eat it.
This is the updated version of Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham. I do not like cranberry sauce. I do not like mashed potatoes. I do not like green eggs and ham.
I do not like them, Sam. I am.
So out of those things that you just listed that cannot be a part of your Thanksgiving plate, what is your least favorite?
Mashed potatoes and
So
mac
no
and
Mashed
cheese.
potatoes.
No mac and cheese on I don't think
We
Thanksgiving
will
is a
have
holiday
it
without
because
macaroni
everybody
and
else likes it, but I don't like it.
Can I ask one
Everybody else has some
question?
damn sense.
Can I ask two questions? One and a follow-up. Who makes the macaroni and cheese? For the
Catering company.
A catering company. So we're not talking homemade
Sounds about right.
mac and cheese. So y'all are probably eating mac and cheese with Kraft singles on that shit.
No, there's no way. No, there's no way. Not this place. No.
No, there's probably like breadcrumbs and shit like that on there.
Yeah, there's like breadcrumbs on it. It's like, like gourmet mac and cheese or
Oh
whatever.
my
But
God.
I don't like it because it's too cheesy.
So what your number one Thanksgiving side is what?
Oh, I do roasted shaved Brussels sprouts and roasted asparagus. I mean, you guys laugh, but it's like it's really good. Like,
It sounds like Thanksgiving at the Ritz-Carlton or some shit. Like, what the hell is
what do you
even?
mean? Hold on, you guys don't have vegetables at
I mean,
Thanksgiving?
vegetables get on the table, but like,
Yeah.
oh man, let's hold up. Let's okay. You got to save the whites, Chip. We got to go to Chip for his Thanksgiving.
I don't want to speak for all the whites.
Well, I don't want to speak.
I'm not trying to represent all the whites up here. You know what I'm saying?
But give me your top.
All right, so I
Thanksgiving
love turkey, right? I like it the Dak Prescott style where the meat's falling off the bone. That's my favorite. Sorry, I've been sitting on that one for 15 minutes of bad menu over here. So I married an Italian woman, so I've discovered a love.
I'm half Italian.
I have discovered a love of a pasta side with the turkey. So I like there's always pot when I go over to my in-laws. There's always pasta there, which is I did not know what I was missing. A little bit of pasta, very
Italians
good
get
with
down.
Thanksgiving.
Not Nikki, but Italians get down. Like Italian.
My mom's Italian. She cooks her ass off. I don't like it though.
My dad, he used to be a chef, so his big Thanksgiving side is he does green beans with almond slivers. Apparently that's like a huge hit. I'm not a big green bean fan, so I tend to lead away from that. But I know it's a big hit at my table. I'm a mashed potato guy. I'm a corn guy. You know, slather that shit in gravy. I am got to dip that bread roll when you're done. You know, the multiple turkey plates, the apple pie slice to finish it all up.
Apple pie. No, gravy's gross.
You're sick soul, Nikki.
Yeah, I am. I'm sick in the head.
I don't need it. I don't need it to be fancy. I need it to be delicious and filling. And that canned cranberry sauce has got to stay the hell away from me.
Oh yeah, no. Oh God, I was gonna say no. I don't like loaded sweet potatoes either. Wait, but Chip, how many plates do you have? 3?
So I'm usually good for about 2.5, and then I go dessert.
Yep.
What kind of pasta? I don't understand the pasta part. Like with red.
When I go over to the in-laws, it's like a ziti or something like that with some sauce and some cheese. Yeah.
Oh, ziti? You do
ziti? It's not like a heavy pasta, but it's just like here's a little side of pasta if you want.
Nikki be serving IVs for Thanksgiving.
She's like, it's time for your juice cleanse.
I would love to do that. You know what? I'm gonna do pumpkin pie smoothies for dessert. I think.
Just eat the pie. Just eat the pie, Nikki.
I don't understand. Aya Bowls has a pumpkin pie
Nikki.
smoothie, and I can't make it. I don't understand.
Just eat it with a fork? What are we drinking a pie for, Nikki?
Get the Cool Whip. Get the Cool Whip and dollop that shit right on. Come on now.
This is sickness. That is a choice you're making, Nikki.
No.
Just because you blend up a pie doesn't mean that it loses any calories.
Yo, Nikki eats like someone who has their jaw wired up for life. Like everything that she consumes has to be through
Kanye West.
Hell yeah, wired.
Because I have an oral fixation. Like that's why.
Okay, Mike Tyson. Okay, Mike.
Not like that.
But
listen, I tried to save it.
You did a good job. You're throwing me for a loop with the big ziti, but okay.
Listen, that's the Italians. They also break out. They do a turkey and a ham. So like they just make sure that you're well fed.
All right, DMV, save us, man. Let's go. And I'm gonna finish it off. We can collaborate on this.
Hey, me and you already talked about it, dog. The yams and the macaroni and cheese.
They combine. They're Shaq and Kobe on the plate, and they must
absolutely with green bean juice or green juice, like whatever. Like, they have to go together.
You want your stuff to touch like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. No. Ew. You want your mac and cheese
like a huddle.
Do you know what do you know what sweet potato casserole candied yams are?
Yeah, I don't like it. It's got
with the marshmallows on top.
Marshmallows on top. You want to put them next to the collard
I don't like marshmallows. So you want marshmallow touching your plate.
All
other foods.
They got brown sugar or cinnamon on it.
And let me give you the kicker. You get the ham. Fuck turkey. The ham, the holiday glazed ham with the homemade glaze with the pineapples and maraschino cherries mixed in. You put that on the plate. All the juices combined, and it is just euphoria on a plate. And it's
Rio, my only problem with what you just said is here's the kicker. You can't be talking about kickers right now.
I'm disturbed that you all want your juices and gravies and solids and liquids to touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It puts the mash in mashed potatoes.
I don't like mashed potatoes.
Well, it sounds like an issue, not an issue me.
Ironically, I don't like mashed potatoes without brown gravy. I gotta have brown gravy with the mashed potatoes.
You
Yeah,
hate
I don't like
collard
gravy.
green. Oh my god, I'm a ham over turkey type of person. Turkey can be cool when it's not dry.
But
You
you
gotta
said you
cook
just
it.
put fruit salad on it.
No, I didn't say anything about a fruit
No.
salad. I said you top it with the pineapples and the maraschino cherries in between the
Oh, I
circle
don't
pineapple.
like those
You make a
cherries.
homemade glaze, and the ham is it
Yeah.
brings the plate together. But nothing on Thanksgiving beats yams and macaronis intersecting on a plate. Sometimes combined juices is just the way to go to set the whole plate off.
You
I
want
know
your
you
yams and your mac and cheese to touch. Is that correct?
Yes.
absolutely
Yeah.
fucking-
That's
they-
disgusting. Why? You said they have marshmallow on it.
I know, and it's amazing.
I don't
It
know
is
why it's
Touch
good.
the cheese. That's two different fucking flavors. You want marshmallow touching cheese. That's what you're all telling me.
It's
I promise
orgasmic.
you.
And you
I
want to
promise-
come at me for a fucking pumpkin pie smoothie that Pliables makes
Because
easily,
nobody
but you want
drinks
your marshmallow
that,
touching your
Nikki.
mac and cheese. No,
Nobody
this is crazy
drinks
work. This is fucking crazy. But you want to
No.
come and roast me? No, absolutely
This
not.
isn't crazy.
You
This
put
is
a
just
fruit
this is
salad on your ham. You're
a
putting
fruit
all this
salad.
fruit in there.
Fruit salad are not words the regular Americans say on Thanksgiving meals, Nikki.
I like fruit salad. I will have fruit salad.
You eat yourself into a coma. That is the whole purpose. You're not supposed to eat a harvest salad at Thanksgiving. I feel
Yes,
like
you are.
every time you eat a harvest salad, the pilgrims and the Indians are rolling in their grave, Nikki.
The pilgrims.
They didn't-
Whoa, whoa, whoa! You can't say Indians, Mr. Commander. You can't say that.
The commanders. Yeah. The commanders.
Didn't the pilgrims eat like a goose or
The
something?
pilgrims met the commanders.
They are rolling in their graves every time you eat some healthy shit on Thanksgiving,
Well,
man.
I like a good harvest salad, and there's nothing wrong with a pumpkin pie smoothie when the three of you want to sit
Everything is
here
wrong
and
with
tell me
Everything
you
is
want
wrong
your
with it.
yams and
Everything is
marshmallows
wrong
to
with it.
touch your mac and cheese.
And
I
Nikki,
mean, there's a lot wrong with it.
Yeah,
There's
Nikki,
there's a
there's
lot
a
wrong.
whole lot wrong with it, but I'm glad Nikki just said what she said, because if you needed further proof as to why Nikki is never invited to the cookout, a
Never.
potluck, or anything involving
I'm
food,
not invited
you
to
can
the cookout,
you
the
can
tailgate,
come
or
to the
fiesta. I
you
got
can
disinvited
come
to all three this year.
you can come to the after party wherever there's cocktails or appetizers.
Yeah,
Matter of
we'll
fact,
meet you at the bar.
appetizers-
So I do the cocktails nice. Like I make like great cocktails.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
We found your role at the function. Don't come near the food.
Right. It sounds like Rachel might get the invite if she's the one doing most of the
Oh
cooking.
yeah,
Does
Rachel.
all
But-
the- yeah,
Shout
Hey,
out
send her my
Rachel.
ad.
Tell Rachel she's invited to the cookout, because I'm please. I need to see what your Thanksgiving spread looks like on Thanksgiving.
Hold
If
on,
you
you're
could
with
just,
my sister, not me.
I trust her because she does the cooking.
You
on
said
Thanksgiving.
pumpkin smoothie.
Yep, and I don't think
Maya
she
Bowles makes a pumpkin smoothie. You know what they don't make? A marshmallow.
would.
mac and
Rachel
cheese
eat it?
jam
Would
smoothie.
Rachel drink that smoothie?
Yes.
No, she wouldn't.
That was
I know some fuck
look,
she wouldn't.
wait, we've been doing the hold on, wait.
Yes, she
Time out.
would.
We've been doing this panel for 2 years now, and that was the least committed to anything that she has ever
Oh,
said.
Maybe the gingerbread one.
Rachel
She
not
put a-
drinking that bullshit.
She put a question mark at the end of that answer.
Please show Rachel this clip
Damn.
and then have her
She
answer
does. She
that
gives me
question.
a hard time for all the food. takes that
Rachel,
Danny
you
and I
are
will-
invited to the
Rachel,
cookout.
we
Nikki
love
can
you,
come and drink
Rachel.
afterwards,
She's a
man.
fantastic cook. Like
Shout out
she
to
is.
her. She
She
sounds
Sounds
does
like it.
Sounds like
Nikki can wait at the local Pliables for us to be done eating.
You would think Nikki was raised like Cinderella, like they put her in the attic and didn't let her eat with the family and shit, because Nikki just refused to eat actual food.
No, at this point, I'm starting to think Princess Fiona, because she's up in a tower locked away somewhere for way too many years, not being allowed to see people.
They got Nikki out harvesting her own meals. She had to go out and find the crops and shit to make her.
Listen, my harvest salad's good. Okay, you put little like dried cranberries in there, some arugula, like.
Goes down to a forest with a basket and is like, "Look, I found Thanksgiving."
Oh my God, man!
They
Shout
put her
out
in
to
the
Nikki.
attic and gave her the rest of what's left.
And
Like-
just for anybody to know, this is how we show love. We love Nikki. She is the
Oh, my
homie,
God.
even though she will never be invited to a potluck
I'm
or the
getting
cookout
myself to a cookout,
ever
by the
there.
way.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Rachel, though. She is invited. You guys let the folks know where they can find you. We can get out of here for the night. I'll start with you, Miss Nikki Net.
You guys can find me on Twitter or Instagram and TikTok at NikkiNick9384. My podcast is Thunder and Lightning. We are on Mondays and whenever else we feel like it, either Wednesdays or Thursdays. So that is at TNL_NYG. All
And
New
you
York.
work- And you will not find her near anything that serves actual food. DMV,
Yeah.
where can folks find you, my guy?
All right, you guys can find me on YouTube, DMV Fanatic. I put a comment in the comment section, so you guys can click that. I do Cowboys content, football content. When the draft season's coming up, you guys might want to see what players are. So, I'm definitely big on that. And on Twitter X, I am DMV Fanatic 1, and then on the real DMV Fanatic on Instagram. Appreciate y'all.
Yep, my boy Chip. First place, Chip. Sign us off, man.
So I am the co-host of the AAT Birds, which you can find on Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff at AAT Birds. All Eagles all the time. And you can find me personally at Chip for the Birds on Twitter. I do a show Wednesday nights, which is Eagles related, and then I usually do another show called The Sports Wheelhouse with my buddy JD from South Carolina, where we spin a wheel and talk about whatever comes up on it. And that's usually Monday or Tuesday nights. So kind of all over the place, but AAT Birds is the platform.
And y'all have heard from my esteemed panel. Next time we do this, it's going to be a Christmas edition of the NFC East family reunion. So we can oh my God. See,
She's a Grinch too. Jesus
We'll talk
Christ.
about
I
it
hate
in
Christmas.
4 weeks from now. It'll be me, Chip, DMV, and Nikki Soulless ass. That's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. I hope we can find some life versus the Titans, or I'm crashing out for the rest of the season. Until next time, y'all have a great rest of your night. We are